Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalam. Ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِنْ لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي. I welcome all the viewers of the Peach TV network, the Peach TV English, the Peach TV Urdu, the Peach TV Bangla, and the Peach TV Chinese, as well as the viewers on my social media, that is the Facebook, the YouTube channel, the Twitter, and my Instagram. I welcome all of you with the Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to welcome you to this program, Ask Dr. Zakir Naik, Season 2, Session 4. Here you are most welcome to ask any questions on Islam and comparative religion, or any question which a non-Muslim may have asked you and you were unable to reply, or any question that you find regarding misconceptions about Islam that are spread on the media. This is your opportunity. You can ask your question on any of my 4 social media platforms, but I would recommend that it's preferable that you ask as a text message your question on the WhatsApp by mentioning your question in brief along with your name, your profession, your city and country of origin on the WhatsApp number +601126953895. I repeat, you can mention your question in brief as the text message along with your name, your profession, your city and country of origin to the WhatsApp number +601126953895. Before we start taking the questions, I would like to speak for a few minutes on the Beirut explosion, the actions to be taken and lessons to be learned. As many of you may be aware, 4 days ago, there was a massive explosion in Beirut on Tuesday, on the 4th of August 2020 at 6 o'clock in the evening, that's Beirut time, or 3 p.m. GMT. And in this massive explosion, it was one of the greatest explosions in the recent time, in which more than 150 people were killed and more than 5,000 people were injured, and more than 300,000 people became homeless. According to the President of Lebanon, the cause of this massive explosion in Beirut was because of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate that was stored in the Beirut port in warehouse number 12. And this 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate was stored about 7 years ago in 2013, when a ship was traveling from Gibraltar to Mozambique, and it halted on the Beirut port, and there was a technical problem in that ship, because of which it had to stop in Beirut, and the owner of the ship, he abandoned the ship, because of which a court order was taken where this 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate was stored at the Beirut port in warehouse number 12. Actually, this 2,750 ton, it was supposed to be sold or disposed of, even though several reminders were sent to the court and to the government by the port authorities. For the last several years, no action was taken. This ammonium nitrate is actually used as a source of nitrogen for agriculture fertilizers. It's also used along with fuel and oil for explosives, for mining, or in construction industry. It has also been used by militants as an explosive. Actually, this ammonium nitrate to store is very safe as long as you take precaution. But if you do not take precautions, over time, it may absorb the moisture, it may turn into a rock, and it's very dangerous that it can be inflammable. According to the manager of the port of Beirut, there was a request for repairing the door of warehouse 12, and because of which they were doing some welding to the door of the warehouse number 12, and after that he doesn't know. According to reports, we have come to know that there was a fire at the Beirut port at 6 o'clock Lebanon time, very close to warehouse number 12. And later on, the roof of the warehouse number 12 caught fire at 6 o'clock Lebanon time. And few seconds later, there were many explosions. People thought it was fireworks. And 30 seconds later, there was an enormous, massive explosion, which ruined many structures and buildings around the vicinity of the port. And the effects were for kilometers. And the windows of the international port of Beirut, which is 9 kilometers away from the site of explosion, the windows were shattered. 200 kilometers across the Mediterranean Sea, the explosion could be heard in Cyprus. According to the reading, they said the explosion was equal to 3.3 scale of earthquake. It was massive. And because of this explosion, there was a crater created of 140 meters wide and very deep at the site of the warehouse, where water accumulated, and there was a ship which was closed, which was blown to the dock because of the explosion. And in this explosion, more than 150 innocent human beings were killed. More than 5,000 people were injured. According to the mayor of Beirut, more than 300,000 people became homeless. And the population of Beirut is approximately 2 million. So 15% of the population of Beirut, they became homeless. And half to 1 million people, directly or indirectly, were affected by this blast. This was an accident. It was negligence. What action should be taken? I would request the Muslims all over the world that the least we can do is pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the people who are affected by this blast. And as we know, more than 61% of the population of Lebanon, they are Muslims. More than 52% of the population of Beirut, they are Muslims. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may He forgive the Muslims who have died in this blast and may grant them Jannah. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may He ease the difficulties of the Muslims and non-Muslim families who have died in this blast. May He elevate and may He make it easy for the people who have been affected in this blast. May He give shifa, may He cure the people who have been injured in this blast. And may He give shelter to the people who have become homeless. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease the suffering of all those people of Lebanon who have been affected directly or indirectly in this blast. The least the Muslims can do is pray for the people affected by this blast. The second thing we can do is we can support financially whatever we can to help the victims of this blast. And alhamdulillah, there are many charities, Muslims and non-Muslim NGOs in Lebanon and in different parts of the world, which have started collecting funds. We have in America, in European countries, in different parts of the world. And alhamdulillah, I request the Muslims that whatever your capacities, whether big or small, whatever you can, we should become part and try and support this noble cause with whatever amount that we can. The third we can do is those people in Lebanon or in Beirut who have not been affected by this blast should support the people who have been affected by this blast. There may be people of Lebanon who may be less affected. They can support the people who have been more affected. We require volunteers at the ground level to help the people who are injured, to help the people who have become homeless, to help the people who may not have food to eat because of the situation that took place suddenly because of the massive explosion, because of this blast. Whatever we can physically, because of the pandemic which is there, the COVID-19, it may be difficult for the foreigners to enter Lebanon, but yet there are people who are trying. Whoever can physically support, they should. And last, what we can do is try and spread this message that we should not be negligent about the information of the blast, the actions to be taken, and the lessons to be learned. What can we as Muslims learn from this tragedy? Number one, we should not be negligent. This tragedy happened because of negligence. We should see to it that we should be careful and we should take precautions wherever required. For example, we should see to it that in our home we have the kitchen. Many people keep the gas open, unattended. There may be someone who lights a fire and there can be explosion in the kitchen. We keep and we store things inflammable in the wrong place, which is wrong. And we may not be careful in how we store the inflammable items. All these are lessons to be learned, that we have to be careful and we should not be negligent.